Welcome to the Bureaucracy ERP in Action tutorial. So in this series of videos, we have been seeing about international business management or the global trade. So in today's process of international business management, we'll be going through the payment process where we left out with purchase order that we sent to our vendor, and then we need to enter the tax invoice that is required for our local goods receipt. So once the tax invoice is done, then we'll go to the pre-shipment process. So before I go to issuing a tax invoice for our internal inward supply or the GRN, the goods receipt, I just see my purchase order that I've sent to my vendor. So my vendor was ABC Agro Product, and my order number was 503. So now I'll go to, if I want, I can view my order as well. And this was my order confirmation to the vendor ABC Agro Products. We were looking for purchasing of red chili S4334 and 700 bags is our quantity. So now we'll go to the inward supply or the tax invoice that is required for processing the goods receipt GRN, and I'll be adding a vendor invoice. Today's date, we'll be selecting inward supply because this is a inward material supply from the vendor. The vendor is registered person in GST, and then we give the vendor code. If you're not sure, we can type the vendor name, which is ABC Agro Products, and then we give a numeric value or any of our local reference number. So in this case, I'll give 654321 as our internal reference, and we can also give the invoice number of the vendor just to keep it in our records. So let's say it is 789456, and then this is a new invoice, and then we have to enter the total invoice value. So we open our purchase order. This is the pro forma invoice to our buyer, but now we'll open our confirmed purchase order that we sent to our vendor, and we'll copy the value of our purchase order, and we will enter it over here in our total invoice value. We click enter, and then we enter the product, which is red chili S4334, and we accept it, and then we go over the next process. This is a product with GST, yes, 5%, yes, and the purchase cost was 800 per bag. This was without GST, and we don't give any discount as well, so we go with no. And then we can give a batch reference. Let's say we give today's date 09/03/26 as our batch reference, and the incoming invoice, which will be the inward supply, what we'll have is 700 bags. That's the quantity we are getting. We are doing the GRN, goods receipt. The order value, for now we'll leave it blank, then we accept the data. So once the invoice value is actually matching, it will be showing here 0, and then this tax invoice is complete. We save it and we close it. Now we can also quickly see our invoice that we sent to our, that we'll have it with our internal process of GRN. The vendor is ABC Agro, and we have list of all our vendors. And now we'll open our ABC Agro, which we received red chili S4334. So it has the information of inward supply or the GRN. Now moving into the next step, which will be the pre-shipment process. So after the payment and the procurement process, which we have completed, we do our warehouse management system where we keep the material in stock. That's our GRN process, and then we keep it for the next steps, that will be pre-shipment process. So under the pre-shipment process, we'll be adding a new invoice because it's a new invoice to be developed based upon the product that we have it in our stock. So did we buy the product as per the buyer order? Yes, we did buy as per the buyer's requirement. We click yes. The invoice number is automatically generated. We keep today's invoice date, and then we enter our buyer's code. If we are not sure, we can give our buyer name. Before that, we confirm this is a C cargo, yes. So our buyer in this case, it was XYZ. We can also go to our pro forma invoice and confirm who is our buyer, XYZ Trading. So we give XYZ Trading, and the buyer information is populated. Then we go to the buyer's order number. In this case, it was 10003. We enter, and the order date or the LPO date, which can also be referred to our LPO document. So as per the LPO document, it was 28th January 2026. So we enter that order date. Country of origin as India. Port of loading, we can also refer to our quotation or the LOI. So place of loading is actually Ennore port. We copy it as a place of loading. Final destination is Dubai, and currency what we were looking in this process was AED, Emirati Dirham. And then today's conversion rate is also populated. If in case you wanted to take the exact rate, you can go to the ROE rate of exchange from xe.com. Vessel number and bill of lading number, we don't need to give it now because this is the pre-shipment document. These information can be done in the post-shipment once we get the CHA information on these numbers of vessel or the bill of lading airway bill numbers from the CHA agent. Port of discharge is Jebel Ali. As per our quotation, it was Jebel Ali port. So we can write the port name, Jebel Ali port. And then terms of delivery, it was CIF. You can also again check through our quotation CIF, and the payment term was confirmed LC. Payment term LC at site. We leave bill of lading blank, freight and other things blank. So this in this column we put the marks or the labeling that we put it for our carton boxes or the package what we'll be shipping it. And let's say in this case we have 700 bags, so I'll call it like serial number of 1 till 700 slash, and I put a reference like XYZ, which is my buyer, as a marking label on my carton boxes. And I enter the product, which is S4334 red chili, and then I have stock quantity, which is 700 as per my system's today's stock available, and I use the exact stock for my current order, which is 700. I accept it and then click enter, 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 and all the values are automatically calculated, and then click next. Since there's only one line in the order, we close the order with X, and then after we have entered the invoice details, we go to the documents. So we click view documents, view all documents, and put the invoice number, which is 1003. We get the commercial invoice populated. So we have all the information that is required to be there in the commercial invoice, especially the port of loading, final destination, port of discharge, terms of payment, country of origin, and country of final destination, which is essential. And we also have our invoice number. This will be required for our future reference. And we have our buyer's order number and their order date, just for our understanding. And then we have the marking that is required for the packaging of the cartons. We label our cartons accordingly as per the marking. And then we have the HSN code, order details, product information, and the complete value. Then we have the next document, which is tax invoice, because this is required to be handed over to the CHA for shipping billing filing. You click S. We go for without payment because this is an LC at site. Close it, click enter. Do we need a tax invoice? We don't need a GST tax invoice because it's an export order. We click no, and then we get the tax invoice that is required to be submitted to the CHA for the shipping bill filing. It has all our local information about the supply to product with our local currency, and the IGST we do not pay. Next, the packing list is automatically populated. We click OK. We click the invoice number. All the informations are all populated automatically. We click enter, enter, enter. Quantity, all the informations are. If you have changes, you can do it over here. But if not, we can proceed and click next, and then end the invoice. Save and view, and then if we have more package to add, we can add. But in this case, we click no, and then we get the packing list. So in this packing list, all the essential information are mentioned, along with the CBM calculation that is critical for the CHA to book the shipments. It has a net weight, gross weight, total quantity, CBM, and all the information about the country of origin. Goods are from India in this case. We sign and give it to the CHA agent. Next, if we need, we can print it in PDF. And then the next document is country of origins format. We click S. We have 4 different formats available in our ERP software. In this case, I give a FIO document, the format that we can keep it for our reference as a draft copy. So this is the same format that will be provided by FIO authority. So this can also be used for submission to our CHA. We close this. Then if you want, we can take it in a PDF, and then here I give no. And in this case, if you want, we can also generate a document as per European Union. Since this is a shipment going to Dubai, we are not considering this. So we click no. So we send the commercial invoice, packing list, and tax invoice to the CHA, and we request them the shipping bill checklist. So once they give the shipping bill checklist, we verify it, and then we notify the CHA, and we request them the shipping bill number that is required for us to do the next process of SDF form submission and as well the post-shipment documentation. So after this, we go to the form SDF declaration, which is required for the customs purpose. So in this case, we click the invoice number 1003. We enter the value, automatically comes in rupees, FOB value, our bank details, and then we give the shipping bill number once if we in case we have it from our CHA. In this case, let me give a value or a number for our reference, 753951 as our shipping bill number, and I say the shipping is booked for 15th of March. And I enter the date. Port code, this is basically the code that is required where the loading port is from. In this case, our Chennai port, Ennore port, we give IN MAA1 as our port code, and then we click report. So we get a document that we can print it in our company letterhead for SDF declaration. This is Appendix 1, which is required for submission to our customs. It has all the information that we've entered, and it has a declaration that is as per the format of customs. So we have the FOB value and all other information related to our shipment. So this concludes today's session of pre-shipment documentation, and in the next session we'll be seeing about the post-shipment process. So once the pre-shipment is confirmed, we inform the supplier about moving the cargo to the CFS, and then we be in process of checking the shipment cutoff date schedule, and we inform it to the CHA, and then we maintain a daily status report. And once the pre-shipment is done, then we go with our shipping and logistics operations of maintaining the status of our shipment, and then we will go into the post-shipment process in our next session. So this concludes this session of the BAccuracy ERP tutorial. We hope you discovered something valuable in international business management today. See you in the next episode. Signing off.